cute. If you want to get this sweatshirt, I know you guys have probably heard that we launched our store, TheTwinDiaries.com, and I'll link it down below. And it has like a bunch of cute like nursing related, even non-nursing related, just like boss, you know, attire. So I would definitely recommend that you check it out and support us, and I think you guys will love it. Anything like us, you know. So this video, the last video that I posted about like LVN and why I chose it and my like whole plan, I got so many questions about it. That video like blew up, and it was like so much, so many questions about it. Like so many people are thinking about doing it. So I figured that I would talk to you specifically about my program and what it entails, so you kind of have an idea. Of course, every program is different, but I wanted to talk to you about like what you can expect. So let's get into the video. So first question is, how long is it? My program is 12 months. LVN programs are usually 12 to 18 months, so it's pretty quick. A lot of my teachers, well, not a lot of them, but you know, like a good handful of them actually did the LVN to BSN. So they got their LVN first, and they set up all the programs that they've done, and a lot of them have like their MSN and stuff, or NP, whatever. And they said the LVN was the hardest, which is what I'm gonna go into. My next question is it hard, and what makes it hard? The reason why everybody says that out of all the programs, let's say you do an RN program and LVN program, the reason why the LVN program is harder is because, like I said, because they're condensed into 12 and 18 months, when usually nursing programs are 2 years or 2.5 years or 3 years. Because it's 12 months, it makes it, there's so much that you have to learn in such a short amount of time. Like, it's class after class, where I'm literally at this point, I'm in level 3, and I'm sitting in class for 12 hours. 12 hours. Of course, I get a break for lunch and stuff like that, but imagine learning so much material in such a short amount of time, and our tests have like so many chapters on one test. So that's what makes it hard, and it's so demanding of your time. Like, when I tell you this like a lot of people say that their program is full-time, but sis, my program is full-time. Like, I'm pretty much in school almost every single day, and as you go from the first semester wasn't as demanding, but it was still demanding. It gets more demanding the further you go. Especially if you have to take class, your program goes through the summer, which a lot of them do. The summer is one of the hardest ones because you only have 2 months, and that's considered a semester, and depending on, like, we have to take, I think it's 4 classes within those 2 months. That's why I'm sitting in class for 12 hours, and that doesn't include sim lab, that doesn't include clinical. So that's why it's so hard. Like, especially if you have kids, and then you're also trying to work because you have bills to pay, like, sis, you're gonna cry. I'm gonna be honest, you're gonna cry. Like, it's hard, especially if you're one of those people that beat yourself up if you don't get the grade that you want to have. Like, if you're not okay with just getting C's and passing, which I'm one of those people, it's hard because you want to dedicate more time, and you get so drained, and you don't have time, and you're just like, it's hard. How many semesters in it? So my program is 3 semesters. It was fall, spring, and then summer. So I'm in summer right now. This is my last semester, and I'm actually gonna be done, I want to say, in like 5 weeks. This was my 6th week, so yeah, I have 5 weeks left. And we're going all the way up until graduation. Literally, there's my last class day where I take my last class, or my last test, and then there's one day, and then there's graduation. So there's literally like, they're getting us in, and they're getting us out. So what classes do you take? So first semester I took fundamentals, dosage cal, advanced nursing skills. What I say that's it? I could be missing something, honestly. And then second semester I took Med Surg 1, I took pharmacology, I took mental health, and I took another class. I'm sorry guys, I'm blanking. But yeah, I took 4 classes, and then I had clinicals on top of that. So each semester, like, I'm naming my classes and I'm not including clinicals, and both times we had like 2 clinical days. So those classes, and then including the 2 clinical days, and then let's say pharm, mental health, med surg, whatever other freaking class I took, and then on top of that, I took clinicals 2 days also out of those weeks. This semester I'm taking med surg, PD, maternal and neonate nursing, and leadership and development, which is the class where we're practicing for NCLEX, the class where we are doing our resumes, the class where we're working on how job interviews are going to be. Like, that's the class that's getting us ready to throw us out into the workforce and to prepare us for our NCLEX. How long are classes? So the first semester classes were a lot shorter. They were still long. Like, we had long days where we were pretty, like, one day we were at school from like 7:30 to like 5:30 or 4:30 or something like that. And then we had, it was 8 to 5. It kept changing. That's another thing about the program, is it changes all the time. Like, in the middle of the semester, it'll change. And you'll have different classes, different teachers, different hours. Then I had one day where I had dosage cal on that day, and I would come in at 12:30 and I'll be there till 5. And then another time where we came in at 7:30 and we stayed until 5. And then that's what happened the second semester, where we came in at 7:30 both days and we didn't leave until like 5:30 or 5. So they're really, really long days, and the whole day you're learning. You're constantly learning. There is no like mental break. You are learning the whole time. So yeah, that's really hard for us, especially for those of us who are not used to like sitting in one place all the freaking time. And it's so draining too, because you think, okay, well, since I'm sitting there this whole time, like, you're not going to be drained, but you are. It's where it's hard to even get to the gym and go do these other things that you might want to do. So yeah, that goes to the next question, like, is it hard and what makes it hard? Like, that is what makes it hard, is the hours, how long you're in school. So then when you leave school, you don't want to study, you don't have time to work because you're spending so much time in school. The little time that you do have out of school is the time that you're supposed to do your assignments and do your work, or you might have to take care of your kids if you have any. I don't have any, God bless the ones that do, seriously. I'm like, claps to them. I really don't know how they do it. That's just what makes it hard. Like, it's so demanding. Whereas like my sister's schedule, she had a busy schedule, but she had way more. She's in a BSN program. She already graduated and everything, but she had way more like time not in school than I did. And her schedule, even though it was sporadic, she still had more time out of school than I did. Like, I feel like I'm always in school. She'll probably like try to disagree with you, but I saw her more than she saw me. Yeah. Her classes were kind of weird, where mine is like back to back to back. Like, you're just gonna sit there. We're not letting you go home and come back. Hers were a little bit differently, where she had one at this time, and yeah, it's a lot. It was definitely different than my program. My program, they're like, your whole life's gonna be here. You're not leaving. If you leave for lunch, you better be back at this time. Like, that kind of thing. Do I recommend it? I recommend it for people who want to be in the, like, if they want to be financially independent sooner, like they don't have the time to wait 2.5, 3 years to start working, then yes, I recommend it for you. Or you're not sure if nursing is going to be for you, then I recommend it. Because what sucks is those people that go into the nursing program and they literally spent 2 to 3 years in the program, graduate, become a nurse, and they're like, why the hell did I do this? This isn't for me. Actually, when I was working as a tech in the hospital, they kept putting some of the nursing students with me to like help do lab draws or blah blah blah, or just like get more hands-on patient care than what the nurse was doing at that time. I don't know. I always ended up with nursing students. But one of the girls actually told me that she's in her second semester and decided that it was not for her. How you go through that long and then be like, you know, I just decided that nursing is not for me? I would be like, after me getting my bachelor's in psychology and then deciding that nursing was for me, like, that's one thing. But let me tell you, I'm just saying, getting my bachelor's in psychology, like, that was hard and everything, and it took time. But, you know, like, you just slaved yourself through nursing school, and they're trying to chew you up and all that stuff, and then decide that you don't want to do it. Like, if you're really unsure, like, seriously, be a tech. Be a, do the LVN program and see if it's for you, because then you can work your way up from that. Especially you can work your way up from
the jobs really aren't that similar, but in a way you're still getting your feet wet in the medical field. There are some dirty stuff that you'll have to do as nurses. It really won't be the exact same. You're more medication focused, but there's still stuff that you're going to do that you don't want to do.
What?
So I'm saying, like, the job as a tech and the job as a nurse is very different.
Okay, you're right. But you get to see
firsthand.
Okay.
You get to see.
So what my sister said to make clear is a job as a tech and a job as a nurse is completely different. So that's why I said, if you're going to work as a tech, you're working as a tech and you're going to be in the hospital, I wouldn't say be a CNA and then see if you want to do nursing. No, that's not the same, because if you're going to be a CNA in a nursing home, that's not going to give you real insight on whether you want to be a nurse or not. I would suggest that you go into the hospital and work as a tech, which is a CNA, or at least in Texas, you have to have your CNA license in order to work as a tech in a hospital. That's not the case for every state. I've learned that. So just ignore what I'm saying. If you hear me say like you have to be a CNA in order to be a tech, this is for my people that live in Texas. Majority of the hospitals, in order to be a tech there, you have to be a CNA. You have to be certified. And sometimes even some of the nursing homes, not assisted living facilities, is different. They'll hire you without a CNA license, but to work as a tech in a hospital, majority of them, you have to have your CNA, and they're just going to expand on that knowledge because they taught me how to do my blood draws and everything. But you get to work side by side with the nurses, so you know exactly what to do and what it entails. You get to see the stresses that they go through because you're right there helping them through those stresses. If they feel stressed, more than likely you feel stressed, but sometimes they're going to be dealing with stresses that you as a tech wouldn't deal with. But that's why I'm saying maybe become an LVN if you're not sure, or work as a tech first, and then if you see like, yes, I want to do nursing, then be an LVN if you want to get in sooner, or you still want to kind of get your feet wet to make sure you want to be an RN. That's what I recommend, because you don't want to do all that and then be like, I can't do this. Can you work while in the program? Well, you can work in the program, especially probably like the first semester. You can definitely get along with working. The further you go in the program, the harder it is to work, at least in my program. The further along you get, the harder it gets. The first semester, you're dealing with fundamentals and skills, and you're doing lab and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's hard because you're trying to get used to thinking like a nurse, and you're trying to get used to answering NCLEX questions, which is so different than when, of course, all of us coming from A&P and micro and chemistry, it's very like knowledge based. Nursing is like, okay, here's the knowledge, but can you apply it? That's so different than you answering a knowledge base, what is blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what they're gonna ask you. They're gonna ask you, the patient is exhibiting the X, Y, and Z, they have this, the stats are this, what do you do next? I don't know, like literally, and then they're gonna have A, B, C, and D. 2 of them you should be able to eliminate, and then 2 of them you're like, dude, they're both important. What do you mean I have to pick one? It's which one is most important. So when you see those jokes where they like have nursing questions and they're like, 2 of them are literally the same thing, but this word has 2 S's and this one also has 2 S's, like literally that's it, because that's how the questions are. So just imagine the first semester you're just trying to learn how to think that way, and the further along you get, the easier it'll be. Oh, where do I do clinicals? So I don't want to tell you the exact places where I do clinicals, but because I know that some people's programs are different. So I was talking to somebody who I'm also connected with, Nursing with Joy, she's great, follow her on Instagram. I was talking with her about like her experiences, and I noticed that ours are different. So I think it kind of depends on where you go to school, because my school is they put out like really good nurses, and they have an RN program. So they have the LVN to RN bridge program, and then they also have an RN program, and then now they're getting an RN to BSN program, and they're linking with another university in our area. So they have a lot of experience with nursing. A lot of people, like every hospital here knows this college. Like they have a really good reputation. They don't really have a bad reputation. That matters where you go to school. Don't go to a school that has a bad reputation, or people are like, who the hell is that? Or like, oh, I heard that this and that. Like I've actually worked side by side as a tech with a lot of nurses that came from this school. A lot of people know this school, and they don't have anything bad to say, nothing but good things. So I feel like that's another thing. So we have a new sim lab. So I get a lot of experience because there's an RN program there where we get to utilize the same things that the RNs utilize. And because they have a bridge program, I think that's why a lot of the questions I would like look at Rashana's questions, and I can answer those questions, because they're not gonna not teach us that information, knowing that we're probably gonna move on, and that's still stuff that you have to know. But there's some schools that are just gonna teach you the basics, and their pass rate on the NCLEX is probably not that great. Like, those are things that you need to look at, and those resources are online for you to look at, so I would make sure that you do. But we have a very, very like high-tech sim lab where we have PD patients in the sim lab. It literally looks just like a hospital. We have PD patients, a mom that legit gives birth. Like, we have all of that. So we also, since they have a good reputation, actually this semester, this is probably, they say, one of our best semesters as well, because we get a lot of hospital experience, where a lot of times when you're in LVN school, you might have to go work at other facilities like nursing home. Is where a lot of them do clinicals, but we've actually spent more time in a hospital than we have at a nursing home. So that's also a plus with going to a good school. So those are probably questions that you should ask before applying, if you even care. But yeah, so we do them at we don't do at hospitals in the medical center, but the LVN's RN Bridge program does, because they go to like Texas Children's Hospital and stuff like that. But we actually go to surrounding hospitals, not in the medical center. But it's still like good experience to get in there, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's any more questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'll put my name somewhere on the screen. I'll link it down below like I always do. It'll probably be at the end of this video. Sorry y'all, I keep wanting to like burp. It'll probably be at the end of this video. But like, any questions that you have for me, I'm more than happy to answer. You can leave comments and tell me what you think, or tell people how your program is if you're in an LVN program right now, or how it works in your state and whatever. Because like I said, I'm in Houston, Texas. This is how it works where I'm from. I'm sorry, y'all, my sister's been making noise this whole time. But and she's eating food right now and cooking, and it's making me so hungry. But anyway, don't feel free to like ask questions and tell people your experiences, blah blah blah. If you want to be on here and come and be negative, you can get blocked, or I could just tell you off. Either or, I don't bite my tongue. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I wish you the best. Don't let anybody tell you anything. Live your best life, do what's best for you, follow your heart, all that good stuff. So I hope that was good information about my program. Subscribe and thrive, guys. This is Sana, not Shana. Bye.